gosh, do I need to name names? TJ Maxx, Macy's, list goes on. Department stores, you do not need to sign up for those credit cards. That's my decor. Welcome back to another finance video. Basically, the topic of this video is to tell you why you should use a credit card over cash and then your debit card. So some people relax. I do carry cash on me. It's not a lot. Can't even see, but it's not a lot. I don't really carry cash. This is really only used for like haircuts at most, or I guess you can say emergencies. But I feel like people should always be using credit cards over your debit card and cash because there's just so much more benefits you get when using a credit card. So I'm gonna give a little backstory on how I got into credit cards and demystify any myths that people might have told you about credit cards, and going forward, why you should be using credit cards over your debit card. So starting off, growing up, finances weren't really talked about too much in my family, and it got to a point where we started getting allowances, but eventually I stopped caring about doing chores for like $10 for the week, and my parents ultimately just stopped it in general because I was like, I'm gonna clean the house regardless, and I don't really care about the money I get. But that's just the type of person that I am. From there, I went, that was pretty much like elementary school to like middle school, high school, got my own job, stuff like that, still using a debit card. And after high school, I went to college, and I was using my debit card for, I would say, about a year and a half. Whenever I brought up a topic about credit cards to my sisters, they were really reluctant about not opening up a credit card, never getting into credit, stuff like that. And being the person that I am, when someone tells me not to do something, I end up doing it. So after doing my due diligence of Google and YouTube, that is the research that I did on credit cards, I went ahead and opened up my card, and I opened it with a credit union that was on my campus. And for about a year, I manually paid off my credit card every single month. Horrible decision. I finally met someone who was using auto payments. It worked for them, so I switched to auto payments for everything, and I don't know why I didn't do auto payments at the very beginning. It helped me out tremendously, relieved a lot of stress. So since then, after opening up that credit card and enabling auto payments, I've been using credit cards virtually for everything that I can. I rarely carry cash on me unless a place explicitly says they don't take card. That's when that cash needs to get used. My debit card just sits in my wallet. I never take it out for almost anything. There's just so many benefits of using a credit card that it just, to me, doesn't make sense to be using your debit card. I know people are going to be saying this in the comments, but they're going to be saying stuff like,
oh, but you can't make your payments with a credit card for your mortgage or your car bill, or if you want to Venmo your friends at 3%, you're going to lose your rewards.
Obviously, I don't use my credit card for stuff like that. I use my debit card and my checking account because obviously there's a transactional fee on services like that if you want to use your credit card, and it just doesn't make sense to do that. So obviously for things like that, I'm not going to be using a credit card. So now going on to the myths of the credit cards, I'm just going to be listing them out. So some of the myths that I found and heard are: you need to always carry a balance. Don't do that. Credit cards is free money. No, it's not. Only pay the minimum. Definitely don't do that. People with problems use credit cards. Hopefully I don't have a problem. Rewards are a scam on credit cards. No, they're not. Credit cards are evil. No, they're not. They can be evil, but that's not their point to be evil. I'd say usually people who say those things about credit cards have probably had a bad experience with their credit card and probably have a low credit score. And if that's you, I apologize, but that is the truth. Really sorry. I really hope you can get your finances in check. Subscribe if you already haven't, so I can teach you on how to improve your credit score along the way. Here is what a credit card is, all right? It's gonna be super complicated. Please listen. I temporarily borrow money from a financial institution, okay? Are you following me? and I reap the rewards, okay, right? And then I later pay the financial company with the money. That's it. That's all a credit card is. And I feel like people overcomplicate on how to use a credit card. It's like, oh no, you need to use your credit, keep a balance, pay the minimum, pay it off 3 months, increase your credit score like that so that people can know that you're paying. Don't do that. Credit cards for essentially anything that you can think of. The most common is cashback. There's travel cards. Travel cards are really cool. There are store dependent cards. Please don't get those. Please, 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 please don't get those. Please don't get those. There's hotel cards. But I would say the most common is cashback and rewards. Now I'm just gonna go into the advice of owning a credit card, the things you should do, things you shouldn't do, and the things you should understand about a credit card. So my first advice is your limit is not free money. You have to understand that a credit card is a tool to extend your spending habits. Anything you buy with your credit card, you owe. Understand that point. If you don't pay on time, there will be consequences. So let's say I bought this fake plant, I think it was like $3.99, right? I buy this with my credit card and I decide I don't want to pay it this month, right? Here's what happens. This plant goes from $3.99 to, what's $3.99 times 25%? 9,775. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. So essentially, this plant goes from being $3.99 to almost $10 because I decided not to pay the card off. Tell me, this plant is probably not even worth $3.99. For sure, it's not worth $10.99. So don't ever miss a payment. Always pay the balance off fully. So if you can't afford it with your regular money, don't buy whatever you want to buy. You can't afford it. And eventually it's going to be worth more than what you originally bought it for. And it's just going to keep stacking on from there. So please, like I said, I'll stress it. If you can't afford it with your regular money, you can't afford it, period. Another thing you need to understand about credit cards. Get the credit card depending on what you want. If you want a card that gives you, let's say, gift cards to your favorite store, get a cashback or rewards card. You like to travel? Get a travel card. Get a hotel card. If you have a business entity and you want to separate your transaction and get even more benefits for having a business, get a business card. This is what I will say, and please, please. I used to work at Target. I had to ask everyone, I'm sorry if you're a person watching this video and I asked you to sign up with the Target Red Card. I apologize. I almost quit that job because I had to ask people and did not feel good about it. Do not get store-dependent credit cards. Gosh, do I need to name names? TJ Maxx, Macy's, list goes on. Department stores, you do not need to sign up for those credit cards. At most, you'll get 5% back. And I promise you that probably doesn't even cover the tax in your state. Department store credit cards, for one, you can more than likely you can only use it at that store. I know Target has transitioned over to a MasterCard and you can use it everywhere else. They're much better cards than the Target card, trust me. Basically use any other credit card than a store dependent card, trust me. Do not get a store dependent credit card. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Here's another thing I wanna stress about credit cards versus debit card. Think of it like this. If you use your debit card, your money by the way, and someone gets access to your account, your money by the way, once that money is gone, it's really, really hard to get your money back. Now, let's move on and say that you're using a credit card and someone gets access to your account. Whose money is it? It's not yours. It's the financial institution's money. And they spend millions of dollars per year against fraud because at the end of the day, it's their money and they want to get it back. And on top of that, they want to keep you a happy customer and they will do almost anything to get their money back and have you be a happy customer. There's also plenty of purchase and travel protection that you can get on credit cards. So let's say lost baggage covered by your credit card, extended warranties, item breaks, you can discover that it's covered by your credit card companies. I guess terms and conditions, they probably have some type of extended warranty benefit that they have on the credit cards, something you can't get on debit cards. If you ignore everything in this video and still get a credit card, God forbid, use your credit card as if it was your debit card, pay it off every month, and you'll be fine. You will see your credit score rise. Trust me. Don't spend more than you make, and you'll be fine. You have to realize that this isn't the movies, and you can't just swipe back and forth at random stores getting what you want till you get declined. This is not a dating app where you can just keep on swiping, because you will get matched with a bad credit score eventually if you follow that path. So please do not swipe till you get declined. Don't do that. That's it for me today on why credit card is king. I'm gonna title the video that. Make sure to subscribe if you like the content and want to see more. Leave a like if you like the video, I guess. You gotta add something about comments, right? How do I get people to write in the comments? I don't know. Tell me what credit card you have. I'll reply and say, good job. If you use a debit card, comment. Yes, I want to know people who use debit card and cash and justify the reasons why. If it's other than paying bills, because I know bills, you should usually use your checking account. Other than that, if you use debit or cash, let me know. If you don't want to get caught by the cops, 100% understand. I'm out. Peace. Only thing I can say, this is probably the most important thing I can tell you. Use your debit card. Ugh, come on.